I want to say something that might change how you see your entire relationship. You've probably told yourself that you love him too much, that you are too devoted, too willing to sacrifice. But I don't think that's what's actually happening. I think what's happening is this. You have a thought, and that thought is running your entire life. The thought is, my capacity is my currency for love. And until you roar through it, recognize it, own it, act differently, and redefine what's true, you will keep abandoning yourself and calling it love. Welcome back to Love Without Losing Yourself. Today, we are talking about the thought that's creating your invisibility and how to roar through it and change everything. So here's what I want you to understand about how this works. You have a thought. That thought creates how you feel. How you feel drives what you do. What you do creates your results. That's roar. Recognize, own, act, redefine. Right now, you're stuck in a loop. You are recognizing the thought vaguely. You are not owning it. You are not acting differently. And you are definitely not redefining what's true. So the loop is just keep repeating. Today, I am going to walk you through the roar framework so you can see exactly what thought is creating your invisibility, and then we are going to actually change it. Let me show you how this is actually working in your relationship right now. You have a thought about what he needs. Maybe he is stressed, so I need to manage the house, the emotions, everything, so he doesn't have more to worry about. Or if I don't understand his perspective, we will probably have a conflict. Or if I ask for what I need, it will burden him. Or I need to be impressive, capable, low maintenance, so he knows I am worth staying for. These thoughts happen automatically. You are not even aware you are thinking them, but you are. And the core thought underneath all of them, and is the one that we are keep exploring in this episode, is my capacity is my currency for love. If I do enough, manage enough, understand enough, then I will be loved and secure. That's the thought. Can you feel it? Can you recognize it in your own life? That thought creates a feeling. Usually is responsibility. Usually anxiety. Usually fear. You feel responsible for his emotional state, anxious about whether you're doing enough, afraid that if you stop performing, something will break. So what you do is you are operating from a baseline of low-level panic, even when everything seems fine. And here's the thing I want you to understand and own. That feeling is not happening to you. That feeling is being created by your thought. You are choosing to think, I need to manage this. I need to understand this. I need to fix this. And that thought creates anxiety every single time. That's yours to own. And that feeling drives your actions. You soften your needs before you even ask for them. You create a story about what he's feeling and then manage that story. You take responsibility for his mood. You become the one who understands or thinks she understands, because you are constantly trying to read his mind and fill in blanks with your own narrative. You overfunction. You manage. You perform emotional competence. You show up as the capable one, the strong one, the one who can handle it. And here's what I want you to see. Every single action you are taking is based on that original thought. If you didn't think my capacity is my currency, you wouldn't be acting this way. So the actions are a direct result of the thought. They are not random. They are not you being a good person. They are you trying to buy love with your capacity. And here's what that creates. You feel invisible because you are showing up in only one way. He becomes dependent on your management. He doesn't have to think about the emotional temperature because you are regulating it. He doesn't have to wonder what you need because you've decided you don't need anything. He's comfortable, but he's not actually choosing you because you are not allowing him to choose you. You're exhausted because you are managing his reality, your reality, and the space between. You feel resentful because you are giving from a place of fear, not from a place of generosity. And you feel lonely because the person who's supposed to know you doesn't actually know you because you've never let him see the real you. That's what your thought is creating. That's the result. So when you say, I feel invisible, that's not a fact about the relationship. That's a result of the thought you're thinking. And that means you can change it. So where does this thought come from? Why would you believe that your capacity is your currency for love? I will tell you what I see. And usually it comes from our early life, from early incidences. So maybe you learn it because being capable was what made you safe. If you could anticipate needs, manage emotions, stay on one step ahead, then you had control. And control felt like safety. Or maybe you learned because the people around you had big needs. And you learned that your value came from meeting those needs. That when you were useful, you mattered. Or maybe you watched the women in your life prove their love through sacrifice, through managing, through being the strong one. And you absorbed the message. This is what love looks like. Or maybe you are in a relationship where he actually does need you to be the strong one, where you overfunctioning is what keeps things from falling apart. And you've learned through experience that your capacity is what's holding this together. But here's what I want you to really understand. That thought made sense once. It protected you. It earned you approval. It made you feel like you mattered. But now you need to change it because the long-term results are depleting you. So let's use the role framework. Recognize. The thought is, my capacity is my currency for love. Own. You are choosing to think this, and it's creating your results. Act. You can act from a different thought. Redefine. Love is not something you earn through your capacity. Love is something you receive because you are worthy of it. I had to learn this the hard way. At the age of 17, I took it upon me to take responsibility of my family. My dad was in a very bad emotional state, trying to commit suicide. So I took it upon me to make our financial situation better. I changed the course of my entire life overnight. Fast forward, married, I operated from the thought my capacity is my currency for love. If I manage enough, understand enough, give enough, then he will see how valuable and worthy I am, and he will stay. Then I will be safe. And that thought created a feeling of constant responsibility, constant anxiety, constant fear. So I never stopped. I managed every emotion. I anticipated every need. I created stories about what he was feeling and then managed those stories. And the result was he became dependent on my management and I became invisible. He didn't see me. He saw what I provided until one day he told me, I can't do this anymore. And I had to roar. I had to recognize the thought I was operating from. My capacity is my currency. I had to own what I was choosing to think it, and that it was creating my result. I had to act differently, stop managing, stop performing, start being honest. And I had to redefine what love actually means, what I am actually worthy of, what capacity actually is. So here's what I need you to hear. Your thought, my capacity is my currency for love, is creating your results. And those results are not what you want. You wanted to feel secure, instead you feel anxious. You wanted to be loved, instead you feel used. You wanted intimacy, instead you feel managed. You wanted to matter, instead you feel invisible. That's what your thought is creating. And the most uncomfortable part is this. You are creating the abandonment you are afraid of. Because by refusing to show up as yourself, by only performing your capacity, by managing his reality instead of being present to it, you are preventing the real intimacy that would actually make you feel secure. You are keeping him from knowing you, and you are calling it protection. But it's not protection, it's self-abandonment. Now, I want to be clear. Sometimes the reason you've learned this thought is because he actually does need you to be the strong one. Because your overfunctioning actually is what keeps the relationship from falling apart. If that's true, then you have real information. And you need to use ROAR differently. You need to recognize this thought is being reinforced by his behavior. Own, I'm choosing to stay in a dynamic that it requires me to disappear. Act, I need to make real decisions about this relationship. Redefine, what kind of love do I actually want? But for many of you, he's a good person. He will welcome your needs. He will respect your boundaries. He will be capable of taking care of you. But you never gave him the chance because you decided early on that being needed was safer than being known. So here's what I want you to feel. When you operate from the thought, my capacity is my currency, or any other similar thought, when you operate from the thought, my capacity is my currency, your feeling is fear. Your action is managing. Your result is invisibility. But what if you change the thought? What if you roar it? I'm not sure if this is an actually word, but let's go for it. Recognize the new thought. I am lovable exactly as I am. Own that this thought is also a choice. I can choose to believe this is true. Act from this new thought. You show up authentically. You speak your needs. You have your own experience. Redefine what love means. Love is being known, being chosen, being met. What result does that create? Real intimacy, being known, being chosen. That's what's possible when you change the thought. But first, you have to be willing to let go of the one that's been protecting you. So, what's the actually shift here? The old thought says my value comes from what I do, what I manage, what I understand. Love is something I earn through my capacity. The new thought says my value is inherent. Love is something I receive because of who I am, not what I do. This doesn't mean you stop being capable. You don't become irresponsible or selfish. It means you stop using your capacity as proof of your love. It means you bring your full self, your needs, your desires, your complexity, your humanity. And from that place, you take different actions. You speak the truth instead of managing the narrative. You ask for what you need instead of deciding is not important. You claim your time instead of allocating it to everyone else. You let him take care of himself instead of managing his emotions. And you see what kind of relationship can actually meet you there. That's the shift. That's what role creates. I am going to give you the tool that changed everything for me. I called it the role reset. And it works like this. You are in a moment. You're about to make a choice to soften a need, to manage his mood, to create a story about what he's thinking. And before you do it, I want you to pause and recognize, what thought am I having right now? Get specific. Write it down if you need to. I'm thinking, if I ask for what I need, he will feel burdened. I'm thinking, I need to manage his emotions so he doesn't withdraw. I'm thinking, if I don't do this, he won't understand. I'm thinking, my job is to make sure everything is okay. Get the thought out of your head and onto paper. Now own. Is this thought actually true? Or is this a story I am creating? Because here's the thing about high-achieving women. You are storytellers. You are pattern makers. You fill in blanks. So, is it true that he will feel burdened? Or are you assuming? Is it true that he can't handle his own emotions? Or are you deciding that for him? Get honest. Most of the stories we tell ourselves are not based on evidence. They are based on fear. Now act. What do I want to think instead? I want to think I can ask for what I need. He's capable of handling my needs. My needs are not a burden. Write down the new thought. And finally, redefine. What does this new thought create? The old thought, I need to manage this. Feeling anxiety. Action, I soften my need, perform competence. Result, I feel invisible. The new thought, I can ask for what I need. Feeling, peace, clarity. Action, I speak what I need. I trust him. Result, I feel honest and known. That's the role reset. Recognize the thought. Own it. Act differently. Redefine what's true. Your thoughts create your results, and you get to choose them. And I want to leave you with this today. What thought about love and capacity have you been believing? And more importantly, what will it feel like to roar through it and choose a different thought. Here's what I know about you. You're not broken, you're not selfish, you're not too much. You're just thinking a thought that's creating an unwanted result, and you can change it. This is exactly the work we do in a reset session. We identify the thoughts that are running your life. We help you recognize, own, act, and redefine. We help you roar. Remember, you don't need to become easier to love through your capacity. You are already lovable, just as you are. Real love isn't something you earn through management. It's something you receive because you are worthy of it. If you're ready to roar, to recognize the thought, own your choice, act differently, and redefine what's true, book a reset session. The link is in the show notes. And if you want to see what thoughts are actually driving your pattern, if you want clarity on the ROAR framework that's running your life, take the burnout assessment. But don't wait. Don't keep thinking the same thought. You have the power to change it. You have the power to roar. Thank you for being here. Until next week, much love.